Imagine a country so small, you could walk across it in under an hour, a place with its own flag, its own leader, even its own currency. And yet most people don't even know it exists. These aren't the countries you see in textbooks. These are the ones hidden between borders, lost in the shadows of empires, or floating in the middle of the ocean like forgotten treasures. Some are beautiful, some are strange, and some are not what they seem. Today, we're counting down the top 10 smallest countries you've never heard of. Stick around for number 1, because it's a country inside a building. Yes, really. And it has a military. Let's begin. At number 10, we arrive at Tuvalu. Tucked away in the Pacific Ocean, this island nation is home to just around 11,000 people. It's paradise. White sand, blue skies, warm waters. But here's the dark truth. Tuvalu is sinking, literally. Rising sea levels threaten to wipe it off the map in the next few decades. The government is already buying digital land in the metaverse, because when the land disappears, Tuvalu still plans to exist online. Number 9, San Marino. Okay, maybe you've heard the name, but did you know it's the oldest republic in the world? Founded in 301 AD, this tiny country sits inside Italy, and yet it's fiercely independent. It has its own army, its own captains, yes, plural, who rule together. But here's what's wild. San Marino never joined the European Union. Why? Because it never had to. It's been surviving longer than almost any country. Quietly, perfectly, untouched. Coming in at number 8, Nauru. This island in Micronesia is the world's least visited country. No fancy hotels, no five-star resorts, just 10,000 residents and one road that loops around the whole nation. But here's the twist. Nauru was once the richest country per capita. It had one resource, phosphate. Bird poop, basically. They sold it. Got rich. Then ran out. Today, the money's gone, and the land. Left scarred and hollow. Number 7, Palau, a tropical paradise of 500 islands, but still one of the world's smallest nations. They've banned sunscreen that harms coral. They've declared entire oceans as marine sanctuaries. And they made visitors sign an eco-pledge at the airport. This isn't just a country. It's a guardian of the planet. But behind the beauty lies a struggle. Palau relies heavily on aid, and in a changing world, even paradise can feel fragile. At number 6, Liechtenstein. Wedged between Switzerland and Austria, it's so small it doesn't even have an airport. You fly into Switzerland and drive in, but don't be fooled. Liechtenstein is one of the richest countries per capita, known for its banks, its royal family, and its odd laws. Fun fact? You can rent the entire country for a day. Yes, really. For $70,000, you get custom signage, temporary currency, and a personal escort from the prince's guards. It's like Monopoly, but real. Number 5 is Kiribati. Scattered across the Pacific, its 33 atolls are spread over a space the size of the U.S. And yet, its total land area is smaller than New York City. Time moves weird here. Kiribati is one of the only countries to sit in all 4 hemispheres. North, south, east, west. And when the millennium came, Kiribati was the first place on Earth to see the sun rise. Now, they're fighting to see another century. Number 4, Comoros. Ever heard of it? Didn't think so. Located between Madagascar and Mozambique, this volcanic island chain is rarely talked about. It's been through 20 coups in 45 years, and yet, it's stunning. Untouched beaches, vanilla-scented breezes, ancient mosques. But what's the secret? Why so hidden? Some say the world ignores Comoros because there's nothing to take. No oil, no gold, just beauty. And sometimes, that's not enough. Number 3, Marshall Islands. Sounds familiar? Maybe. But the story goes deeper. This tiny nation was used by the U.S. for nuclear testing during the Cold War. Entire islands were vaporized, others poisoned. Today, parts of the country are uninhabitable. The people live with the legacy of radiation, forgotten by history, and yet they endure. They vote, they dream, they raise their children under a sky once shattered by fire. At number 2, Andorra, a sliver of land between France and Spain, famous for skiing, shopping, and something very weird. It's a co-principality, which means it has 2 heads of state, the president of France and a Spanish bishop, a secular leader and a religious one, ruling together. Try explaining that to your government class. But it works, somehow. Andorra is peaceful, prosperous, and deeply bizarre. And finally, number 1, the smallest country you've never heard of, Sealand. It's not on most maps. It's not in the UN. And it's not on land. It's a sea fort, a leftover British military platform in the North Sea. In 1967, a man named Paddy Roy Bates took it over, declared it a country, and named himself Prince. Since then, Sealand has had its own passports, currency, and coat of arms. And get this, it once fought off invaders with guns and gasoline. Yes, a full-on pirate siege, on a metal platform, in the middle of nowhere. And it still stands, independent, unrecognized, unbelievable. So now you know. There are countries smaller than your neighborhood, with bigger stories than most nations will ever tell. Which one shocked you the most? Which would you visit? If you even knew how to get there. Drop a comment below. Smash that like if you learned something wild. And don't forget to subscribe for more hidden wonders and untold truths, right here on Top Trendify.